In 1995, a man walked into two banks in broad daylight. He didn't wear a mask. He didn't even hide his face. He smiled at the security cameras, certain they could not see him. Hours later, police arrived at his door and arrested him. He was genuinely stunned. The reason why changed psychology forever. His name was MacArthur Wheeler, and he believed he was invisible. Earlier that day, he had rubbed lemon juice all over his face. Lemon juice is used as invisible ink, so his logic seemed simple. If it hides writing, he reasoned, it would hide his face too. He had even tested it, taking a blurry photo of himself. The photo missed his face by accident, and he took that as proof. Here is the part that should stop you cold. Wheeler was not drunk. He was not delusional or mentally ill. He was simply completely confident in something completely wrong. And that strange certainty is hiding inside almost everyone you know. Subscribe. There's a new story like this every few days. A psychologist named David Dunning read about Wheeler in the newspaper. One line in the story kept circling in his mind. What if being bad at something hides the fact that you're bad? He brought the question to a graduate student, Dunning-Kruger. Together, they designed experiments to test that unsettling idea. They gave students tests on grammar, logic, and humor. Then they asked one extra question after every test. How well do you think you did, compared to everyone else? The students guessed their scores, and the results were astonishing. The worst performers didn't just overestimate themselves a little. They believed they had scored near the top of the class. People in the bottom fraction imagined themselves well above average. The gap between their skill and their confidence was enormous. And the more they failed, the more sure they became. Now flip it around, because the other half is just as strange. The top performers, the genuinely skilled, did the opposite. They underestimated themselves, assuming the test was easy for everyone. The experts doubted. The beginners glowed with certainty. This upside-down pattern became known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. But why? Why would failing make someone feel like a master? The answer is hidden in a single slippery word. The very skills you need to do something well are the exact same skills you need to judge how well you did. Dunning called this a double curse of incompetence. Imagine someone who can't hear that they sing off-key. The same broken ear that ruins the song also stops them from ever hearing the mistake. They live inside a blind spot they cannot see around. To them, the silence where feedback should be feels like applause. If this is already blowing your mind, take a second and hit like. Because there's a deeper layer most people get completely wrong. The effect is often misremembered as simply, dumb people are confident. But that is not what the research actually showed. It is not about general intelligence at all. It is about specific skills, in specific moments. A brilliant surgeon can be a hopeless, overconfident cook. The effect lives in the gap between any of us and a new skill. And it follows a strange emotional journey we all travel. Think of learning anything as climbing a peculiar mountain. At first, you know nothing, and you know nothing. Then you learn a little, and something dangerous happens. You reach a tiny hill and mistake it for the summit. Confidence rockets upward while real ability has barely begun. This is the peak of false confidence, and it feels wonderful. From up here, you cannot see how much mountain remains. Then the fog clears, and the truth arrives like cold air. You realize the real mountain towers far above you. Confidence collapses into a deep valley of doubt. This is where many people quit, just as they start to learn. Those who keep climbing begin a slow, honest ascent. Their confidence rises again, but slowly, earned step by step. And here is the twist that makes the whole thing eerie. The true experts at the top are never quite as certain. They can finally see how much they still don't know. There's a name philosophers gave this ancient idea long ago. Socrates supposedly said, "The wisest know that they know nothing." 2,000 years later, science finally measured his point. Real knowledge reveals its own edges and unsolved gaps. Ignorance, by contrast, feels seamless and complete. And that is why the least skilled often feel the most sure. Their mind shows them a picture with no missing pieces. It feels complete only because they can't see what's absent. A small map with no blank spaces feels like the whole world. Now remember our open loop, the man covered in lemon juice. Wheeler wasn't missing intelligence, he was missing a mirror. He had no way to check his own reasoning from the outside. His confidence wasn't a flaw of character, it was a trap of the mind. So how do you escape a blind spot you cannot feel? The researchers found one quiet, almost humble answer. Feedback. Real, honest feedback from people who know more. When the worst performers learned the skill, their judgment improved. They could finally see the gap they had never noticed. But here lies the deepest, most uncomfortable problem of all. This effect doesn't just describe other people, it describes you in every subject you've never truly mastered. Somewhere right now, you are confidently wrong about something, and by definition, you cannot feel which thing it is. There is a detail from the original study that almost never gets told. Dunning-Kruger didn't just measure confidence once and walk away. They tried something clever to see if the illusion could be broken. They showed the worst performers the answers of the very best. And something remarkable happened that revealed the trap's hidden depth. The strong performers, after seeing others work, corrected themselves almost instantly. They realized they were better than they'd assumed and adjusted upward. But the worst performers, even shown brilliance, barely changed their estimates. They simply could not recognize good work when it sat before them. The same blindness that hid their failure hid everyone else's success. This raises a question that has quietly haunted researchers ever since. If you cannot judge your own skill, how can you ever improve? The answer hides in why beginners feel that intoxicating early rush. Learning a few rules creates the illusion of seeing the whole game. You grasp the pieces but cannot yet feel the strategy you're missing. History is littered with confident disasters born from this exact illusion. Think of explorers certain a short voyage led to distant riches. Their confidence came not from knowledge, but from how little they knew. The gaps in their maps felt like solid, certain ground. Certainty, it turns out, grows best in the soil of ignorance. Modern science gives this a sharper, almost unsettling explanation. Your brain hates uncertainty, so it quietly fills in the blanks. It paints a smooth, finished picture to spare you the discomfort. And a finished picture feels true, even when it's mostly invented. You don't feel the missing parts because your mind erased the gap. This is why the effect is so dangerous in the loudest rooms. The most confident voice often belongs to the least informed person. Meanwhile, the true expert hesitates, weighed down by everything they know. So volume gets mistaken for truth, and doubt for weakness. The world rewards the wrong confidence and punishes honest uncertainty. But there's a subtle catch the researchers were careful to name. Overconfidence isn't always pure delusion. Sometimes it's quiet self-protection. Believing you can do something is often what gets you started. A little false confidence can carry you past the fear of beginning. The danger isn't starting wrong, it's never noticing you were. There's even evidence this illusion shifts across different cultures. In some societies, people more readily admit what they cannot do. In others, projecting certainty is rewarded from a very young age, so the gap between skill and confidence can be partly taught, which means, unsettlingly, your certainty was shaped before you chose it. Now think back to Wheeler, smiling into those bank cameras. His mistake was bizarre, but the mechanism inside him was ordinary. He simply trusted the picture in his head over the world outside. And every one of us does that, quietly, somewhere, every single day. The lemon juice was strange. The certainty behind it was painfully human. That is the strange gift the lemon juice robber left behind. Not a story about one foolish man, but a mirror for all of us. The mind that judges your skill is the very skill being judged, so perhaps the only honest confidence begins with a question. What if the things you're surest of are exactly where you should look first? So, which of these two stories do you watch next? Pick the one that pulls you in and tap it now.